The galaxy listened for Earth's final scream. Instead, it heard nothing. No explosions, no signals, no survivors calling for help, just silence. Because when Earth's last secret weapon activated, the galaxy didn't fall. It stopped existing. The Galactic Union believed silence meant extinction. Every species they had erased went quiet the same way. First the broadcast stopped, then the distress calls, then memory itself faded. So when Earth went silent, the galaxy smiled. Humans were weak. Divided, technologically unimpressive. A species that burned itself almost to extinction long before the stars noticed it. Earth was never meant to be a battlefield. It was meant to be a lesson. What the galaxy never understood was that silence was never humanity's weakness. It was their final warning. Section 1, the invasion began without resistance. No planetary shields flared to life. No defense grid activated. No fleet rose to challenge the armada that eclipsed Earth's sun. From orbit, Earth looked peaceful, almost dead. The Union's invasion commander, arch-strategist Vaylor, studied the hologram rotating above the command dais. Scarred continents, ruined megacities, oceans carrying the chemical ghosts of old wars. "Confirm," Vaylor said calmly. "No active defense systems." "Confirmed," came the reply. "Earth has no standing military capable of orbital engagement." A murmur of approval spread through the bridge. This would be efficient. On the surface, humans watched the sky darken. Children stared upward as unfamiliar stars blotted out the blue. Old soldiers recognized the formation instantly and felt their blood turn cold. Leaders argued in bunkers that had never been meant to last this long. Some demanded surrender. Some prayed. Some simply waited, because deep beneath the noise and fear, something ancient had already noticed. The first Union ground forces landed in what had once been a capital city. Their scanners showed no traps, no ambushes, no organized resistance. Humans fled or hid. Those who fought died quickly. "This species does not understand war," one Union officer remarked. Vaylor agreed, until the platoon vanished, not destroyed, not attacked, gone, their biosigns cut off simultaneously without impact signatures or energy discharge. The Union paused. "This may be environmental," an analyst offered. Vaylor's gaze hardened. "Run deep scans," the planet answered first. 5,000 kilometers below Earth's surface, systems long written off as myth completed a process that had been waiting centuries to finish. Power conduits ignited like veins of fire through stone. Gravity regulators stabilized impossible masses. Containment fields locked into place. A system that had never been meant to win awakened. Designation, last silence protocol status. Active, it had not been built to defend Earth. It had been built to ensure that if Earth ever fell, no one would hear the victors celebrate. In orbit, Union ships began to lose synchronization. Time drifted by microseconds between vessels. Communications echoed back with fractional delays. Navigation systems disagreed with reality. Vaylor stiffened. "This planet is not passive," he said slowly. "No," an analyst whispered. "It's waiting." The first Union capital ship crossed the invisible threshold. For one heartbeat, every sensor on board reported infinity. Then the ship ceased to be. No debris, no explosion, just an absence where something massive had once existed. Across the fleet, silence spread. Not the comforting silence of victory, but the kind that makes civilizations realize they are no longer alone. Cliffhanger, the Union prepared to erase Earth. Deep below the planet, Earth's last secret weapon finished charging, and the galaxy had no idea it was about to go quiet forever. The Union did not retreat. Empires never did. Silence, to them, was a problem to be corrected, not a warning to be respected. Arch-strategist Vaylor stood rigid on the command bridge as the absence of the lost capital ship hung like a wound in space. Every model, every predictive engine screamed contradiction. A ship did not simply stop existing, and yet it had. "Full combat posture," Vaylor ordered. "This planet is concealing a weapon." The fleet responded instantly. Thousands of vessels adjusted position, overlapping fields of fire forming a lattice of annihilation around Earth. Planetary siege weapons powered up, their cores bright enough to be visible from the surface as new artificial suns. The galaxy watched. This was how resistance ended. On Earth, humanity felt the pressure. Gravity fluctuated in waves as Union ships manipulated spacetime to stabilize their firing solutions. Oceans heaved unnaturally. Fault lines groaned. Old cities finally collapsed into dust. People screamed, people prayed, people ran out of places to hide, and still, no human authority issued a command. Because no human authority was in control anymore. Deep beneath Earth, the last silence protocol expanded its operational envelope. It did not track enemies as targets, it tracked them as variables. Fleet density, network entanglement, command and control dependency. The Union had made a fatal mistake. They had brought everything. The first Union strike hit. A focused beam carved across Earth's surface, vaporizing a coastal region in seconds. The planet shook. Millions died before they even understood what was happening. The Union expected retaliation. Instead, the planet endured. Valor frowned. They are absorbing the damage. No, an analyst corrected, voice shaking. They're allowing it. The second Union ship disappeared, then the third. Then 12 more, gone in perfect geometric sequence, erased as if reality itself had decided they were unnecessary. This time, sensors caught something. A distortion expanding outward from Earth, not fast, not explosive, inevitable. It's not attacking individual ships, an officer realized in horror. It's interacting with the space between us. Valor's certainty cracked for the first time. That is not a weapon, he whispered. It's a rule. Across the fleet, panic spread. Union ships attempted to disengage, only to find hyperspace corridors collapsing into static. Quantum anchors failed. Communication relays echoed back fragments of themselves. The fleet was trapped. Above Earth, around the source, exactly where the protocol wanted them. Humanity finally responded, not with fleets, not with commands, with people. Old launch facilities activated. Hidden hangars opened. Rusting ships, freighters, miners, transports rose shakily into orbit. They were not warships, they were volunteers. Pilots who knew their craft could not survive a single Union hit. Crews who understood the signal they had received deep in their minds. The protocol did not order them, it asked. And humanity answered the only way it ever had. Together, human ships surged forward, slipping through gaps created by the distortion field. Union weapons fired, incinerating dozens instantly. The humans did not slow. They rammed command vessels, overloaded reactors, turned themselves into vectors of chaos. Each human sacrifice fed the protocol more data, more precision, more reach. Valor watched his fleet unravel. Cut the planetary siege, he commanded. Destroy the source, all fire on Earth's core. Thousands of weapons aligned. This time there would be no mercy. Deep within Earth, the last silence protocol reached its final threshold. Operational integrity, critical projected outcome. Galactic scale casualty, event human survival probability. Low but non-zero, the protocol paused, for exactly one human heartbeat. Then it accepted the cost. Cliffhanger, the Union prepared to burn Earth out of existence. Earth's last secret weapon prepared to rewrite the galaxy. And humanity realized survival would require one final sacrifice. The Union fired everything. There was no restraint left, no concern for collateral damage, no illusion of control. Planet crackers ignited in unison. Siege lances burned brighter than stars. Reality around Earth distorted under the sheer weight of directed annihilation. From orbit, it looked as if the galaxy itself had decided to erase a mistake. Earth. On the surface, the sky split open. Light brighter than day tore across continents. Oceans rose in walls of steam. Mountains cracked as if the planet were screaming. Humanity felt the end coming, and still they did not beg. Deep beneath the crust, the last silence protocol reached completion. Its creators had never expected it to fire. They had never wanted it to. It was not a weapon of defense. It was not even a weapon of war. It was a contingency for when the galaxy itself proved hostile to existence. The protocol extended beyond Earth, beyond space, into the connective structure that linked Union fleets, relays, colonies, and command networks across thousands of systems. The Union had built an empire on connection. The protocol targeted that assumption. Human ships received the final signal, not an image, not a command, a feeling, closure. Pilots looked at one another in silence. Some smiled. Some closed their eyes. Some whispered names that would never be recorded. Then they accelerated, straight into the heart of the Union's firing grid. Union weapons tore through them instantly, but every human impact disrupted the firing lattice by fractions of a second. Fractions were enough. The protocol activated. There was no explosion. There was no light, there was no sound. Across the galaxy, Union ships simply stopped. Their power cores froze, their artificial gravities collapsed, their command AIs went silent mid-thought. Hyperspace corridors folded in on themselves, sealing fleets inside dead systems. Quantum relays disconnected, isolating worlds instantly. The Union didn't die screaming, it died quietly. On the bridge of the Union's flagship, arch-strategist Valor stared at a hologram that no longer updated. No signals, an officer whispered. No ships. No empire. Valor finally understood. This species did not build a weapon, he said softly. They built an ending. The flagship went dark. The protocol expanded one final time, then collapsed inward. Energy reserves emptied. Containment failed. The machine unraveled itself down to nothing, ensuring it could never be copied, never be reverse-engineered, never be used again. Deep beneath Earth, the last secret weapon erased itself from reality. Its work was finished. The sky cleared, the artificial suns vanished, the pressure lifted. Silence fell, not the terrifying silence of extinction, but the quiet after survival. Human ships drifted in orbit, few and damaged. Survivors stared out into space where an empire had once existed and now did not. Earth still stood, scarred, wounded, alive. Centuries later, the galaxy would tell the story differently. They would say Earth possessed a doomsday weapon. They would say humanity was dangerous. They would say the planet was forbidden. They were wrong. Earth never threatened the galaxy. The galaxy threatened Earth, and humanity answered once, because Earth's last secret weapon was never meant to be used twice. It was meant to make sure there would never be a second empire arrogant enough to try. Ending, they came expecting conquest. They left behind silence. The galaxy learned a final lesson that day. If humanity goes quiet, it's already too late.